How's it going, guys? My name's Graeme, and welcome to Graeme Games. Probably gonna work on that. I've probably a good opportunity to give the channel a new, cool intro of some sort. You know, my very own top of the morning to you, that sort of thing. The current one's a little too generic, but I'm not gonna go too crazy. I don't know what the future holds. This is gonna be a weird thing to say at the top of a video, but if you're subscribed to this channel for anything other than Let's Play content, you should probably unsubscribe. There's a couple Jackbox reviews and some Undertale Easter egg videos and things. Yeah, that's just not what this channel is at large or what it's going to be. That's totally my fault for confusing the audience like that. If that's why you're here, legitimately, sincerely, I hope you unsubscribe. If you don't plan to watch Let's Plays anyways, it helps me to not have dead subscribers. Go check out the second channel. I'll have a link to that down below. This is huge, and it's pretty bittersweet. It's a little bit upsetting in a very specific way, but it's exciting in a much grander way. I'm officially rebranding the entire channel. This was started about 5 years ago as Two Left Thumbs, the idea being multiplayer Let's Play content with myself and a rotating group of random friends who were willing to participate in sitting in a room and recording. It's like a weird thing to ask of your friends, and it's like pretty spectacular. Not just the number of people who have been willing to do that with me, but with such enthusiasm over the years. So there's a part of me that really hates letting go of the name Two Left Thumbs for this channel because it's so closely tied to that. But that's such a highly specific thing, and a lot of that came from just not liking the idea of being the face of the channel. It would be more conceptual. It would be me and other people doing whatever we wanted, mostly playing games, but you know, if I wanted to do a movie review or more variety content, the goal and hope was to always build up to that. You know, the Game Grumps is a brand. Aaron and Danny themselves are the Game Grumps, but neither one of them is the Game Grump. I am not Two Left Thumbs, nor am I Mr. Thumbs or Mr. Left Thumbs or whatever it is people call me. I'm Graeme. I've always been Graeme. But for whatever reason, I didn't like the idea of the channel being that, especially if it was going to be multiplayer exclusive. As things grew and evolved and kept going, and as people got increasingly busy, either moving to other cities or starting new jobs, things like that, it became trickier and trickier to do daily uploads and record with friends. My solution to that was to fill things in with first impression videos or mini reviews or maybe the odd animation, and I tried to keep up daily uploads and fill things in whatever way I could think of that didn't involve just being, hey, this is a one-person Let's Play, even though I was very clearly circling that idea. That really started in earnest when I did my solo Let's Play of the Riddle School series, because I thought, hey, I have some really particular attachments to Flash, having grown up with it, created my own things, animations, games, all that. I don't really think anyone will enjoy playing it with me in the same way I'll enjoy playing it. And so I did that one alone. It's not even branded as anything else. It still is Two Left Thumbs content on the channel. But other than a couple just terrible first impressions videos, that was it. That was a little bit the turning point. Although I don't recommend watching those videos, I don't recommend watching a lot of the old content on the channel, but maybe it's not as bad as I think. It was still quite a ways after that I eventually titled anything Graeme Games, and it took a lot to come to that decision and decide, I guess the only way I'm going to keep this up is if I start recording a few things alone, games that either specifically are only going to interest me, that I don't see making big series anyways. I don't know, a variety of different reasons, but the main thing was convenience for times when I couldn't quite coordinate recording with someone. Eventually, as I started to lean on that more and more, it started to lean more heavily towards 50-50. Half of the stuff is Graeme Games, half the stuff is Two Left Thumbs. I was fine with that. That seemed okay. It seemed like maybe there was room for both on the channel, get a nice grab bag. I developed my comfort providing commentary for games and speaking in front of a camera, things like that. And hey, that's a whole other thing. It took a long time for me to do face cam, for the same reason. I just didn't like the idea of being the face of the channel. I would do the odd vlog or things like that where I was on camera, but it was never always face cam content. Now, I use it in literally everything because I kind of grew to really enjoy that aspect of it. I'm an expressive person, and I think that adds in some small way. It's a part of who I am, and when you're putting yourself into the videos, that's a part of it. And sure, maybe my voice jumps up and down in ways that you can hear if it was audio only, but I kind of grew to feel that it added something, and yeah, it just kind of became common. Then there started to be the odd window where everyone was busy for huge stretches, and in a panic, I would do a one-off week where it was like, oh, a special event where it was just 7 to 10 to 14. The weeks were rarely just one week, just me playing games by myself and just a big string of them. And I tried to market them every time as like, ooh, this is the exception. This is like a fun side thing. And really, it was just that I didn't find an opportunity to record with anyone else within like the previous week, and I was just trying to get content out there. And I masked that behind it being like, there's no reason to hide that, But that was what I did, because I never liked the idea of there being more Graeme Games content than there was Two Left Thumbs. The channel is Two Left Thumbs. That should by far be the majority. And it slowly had been leaning towards 50-50. And the more often I had to do things like this, it's just over the course of years shifted closer to the majority of the content on the channel is Graeme Games. And with 2020 being what it is, I try to do some online gaming when and where I can, but it's mostly been a year, 8 months, whatever, of me playing games by myself. And that's crazy. There's something really fascinating about that the majority of the content in this last year is branded Graeme Games, but if you type that into the YouTube search, it's nothing. You still have to type Two Left Thumbs to find the channel. YouTube's really specific about how it promotes and shares channels and the ways you got to play with the algorithm and all that, and it really does nothing for the channel to have it titled Two Left Thumbs when increasingly less of the content on the channel is that Two Left Thumbs multiplayer stuff. Even though I felt the balance shifting, I always thought I'll wrestle it back or something, or I just felt it was temporary. But 1 year ago, just right on the cusp of, at the very beginning, January 1st, 2020, I launched Two Left Thumbs, TWO, and decided that everything that wasn't a Let's Play was going to end up over there. Ooh, I was so proud when I finally, just excited, I don't even know, of when I came up with the idea of having 2 and 2. It was playing on the idea of sometimes when people have a second channel, they use the number 2 or spell out TW, like they do some way of indicating it's a second channel. There's already a 2 in the channel name. What's a fun way to play on that? Make it a different 2. That seemed so brilliant to me. And in some ways I still think it is. And there's the shared branding that all seemed really important to me. But this year-long experiment essentially has proven to me that that is a one-way street. I really thought if people got interested in one, they would look it up, they would find both, enjoy both. Totally not. It helped that first channel get like a nice raise early on, which I'm sure set it up nicely and helped it have some success down the line, but that doesn't really translate to drawing viewers back here for Let's Play stuff. It's just people trying to look up Two Left Thumbs, finding the wrong channel, not really understanding why they both exist, not knowing where the video they like went. It caused nothing but confusion for the most part. I'm sure there's a subset of the population that took it as intended, but you have to be a pretty serious fan. The casual viewer, I don't think, is getting anything out of that. It's just more of a hindrance than anything else. And just really, really recently, I removed something like 30 videos from this channel, totaling like 600,000 views, that I'm now reworking, tweaking, fixing, bringing up to the newer quality standard, and moving over to that channel, in addition to a year's worth of brand new content over there that I worked very hard to build. And it's just incredible. And recently, like in the middle of December here, that channel is officially larger than this one in terms of subscribers. It has less views, which is also interesting because it means that, people are more likely to subscribe to that more effortful content. That was done on this instinct, this drive of, oh, I'm accidentally splitting the audience by putting that sort of content here. I need to spin it out and give it its own channel. It was a risky move, and it's worked out incredibly well. That channel is doing so much better than this one. And so all this to say is that now I've come around to this, I guess, trust in myself of these sort of instincts. And that for a year now of kind of directionless, not really sure what I'm doing content, trying to focus over on the second channel, and things just getting split and divided, and worrying about balancing Two Left Thumbs and Graeme Games and all this different stuff, it's taking away a lot of focus from this channel. and it's really put it into this like funk, and I really think that I just kind of need to reboot. If you're subscribed here for anything other than Let's Plays, like legitimately, unsubscribing is probably the best option. That is just no longer something I do here, and it's not going to be anymore. That is staying over on that second channel. So I guess what this really is coming down to is the content has changed. One, it's back to all Let's Plays, and really it's stayed as I'm always a part of that, but that's becoming just more front and center. We're just being honest about what the content is, I suppose. The variety idea, that concept, is now more deeply embodied by that second channel, and I would like it to carry on the proper original number 2 left thumbs. 3, I've completely screwed myself with the algorithm. Graeme Games does nothing for search results. People have trouble finding this content, or if they want to look at the second channel, they have trouble finding that because all of this gets mixed up into it. And I think finally, maybe one of the biggest things is that I just kind of, through a collection of all that other stuff, have damaged the audience of this channel in some really significant ways. You know, the Henry Stickmin series came out really recently. I did some really in-depth playthroughs of that. People really liked it. Hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of new subscribers, confusing content, meeting them on the other side. Weird, what is 2 left thumbs, what is Graeme Games, what's going on, why am I not seeing more of what I like, not really sticking around, not having that consistent viewership. There's a lot of things on YouTube that say you should hope to have 5 to 10% of your subscribers like watching your new videos and at least giving that a chance. And when it ends up being closer to a 1% or like 0.5%, something has gone wrong. And so with that, I want to talk about not just the reboot, but my kind of larger plan with the reboot. I'm still working right now. This is still part-time running these 2 channels, which is, I can't even get into it. It's too much. So this first part is just the rebrand. That's phase 1. That's the initial plan here. Just get that out the door, get that ball rolling, and try and do something with that. I'm still weighing options. I think the multiplayer stuff is going to be Graeme and Friends. So it'll still be searchable, it'll still have my name, it'll still tie into the channel in a way that's more clear, I hope, and it'll play off of Garfield and Friends, which I liked as a kid, I think. I don't know, maybe I just watched it because it was on. Hopefully, early in this new year, I'll be done with work, and I'm going to make an honest run at full-time YouTube stuff. I'd honestly be doing that right now if I could, but I gotta finish up some other things first in the larger, real world. Phase 2 is kind of this 2-parter thing that I'm not really sure entirely how it's going to work out. I want to start working with editors more often. Honklam has been really great, really reliable. I really love what they do. There's a lot of, quick zooms, added texts, a little meme here and there. But in like a 20 to 30 minute video, there's not a lot. I don't like over-the-top crazy bombastic editing and air horns and bright lights and sounds and things. I like it kept relatively tame. But there's something about bringing in an editor that allows them to trim you back. I tend to just word vomit. This video is a great testament to that. And so having someone else look at it and decide, okay, that's funny, that's not, this needs to stay in the video, this doesn't, that helps me more than anything, and the extra little editing flair is just more than I ever can or do. And honestly, just with the time I'm putting into the second channel, I just don't want to spend a ton of time on that, and I just think some slightly higher quality content over here would go a long way in hopefully having viewers stick around. The other part of phase 2, which may trickle into phase 3, is I do want to start streaming more over on Twitch. My idea, my vision of that, is that I will be playing one-off games all over the place, have that edited by other people. I would stream long, like 3, 6, 10, 20, 40 hour long games on Twitch, run that over the course of, 1 or 2 streams a week, cut that into 30-ish minute videos for over here on YouTube, and have it so that there's a combination of both on the channel. And phase 3, that will bring everything all together. My ideal version of all this would be 2 uploads per day on this channel. 1 would be a fun and slightly exciting, varying levels of excitement, one-off video of some cool, exciting, or just silly-looking game. And the other one would be a daily installment of an ongoing series. So for people who prefer that type of content, they would have it available. I already have a list of games that I think would be so fun to cover through that. It's months away from being 2 uploads per day, as well as maintaining the weekly uploads on the second channel. I'm really going to have to build up to that, but that is my perfect vision of this. Oh boy, that's a little bit of the history of the channel, why it started where it did, how it grew and just kind of evolved, and now me trying to follow where it's leading me rather than forcing it to be one specific thing. It's worked out once before, starting that second channel. That was a leap of faith, and I'm doing that again here. And I really strongly do think that a clean slate here is going to be really important, and I hope it'll revive the channel a little bit rather than kind of, at this point, dragging this one along. I love doing it. The numbers aren't really there, and that's a shame, to have like your effort not really met with what you expect. You can say that sounds selfish or just unrealistic, or that like, you should be doing it for the love of the craft. And I think it's kind of a load, I think it can be both. I think you can do it because you love it, and I think you can try to make a career out of it, and no one can or should fault you for trying to have your cake and eat it too in that sense. Expect some changes, potentially expect some rocky periods while we figure things out together here. I'm excited to, experiment a little bit and see where this goes. Yeah, I think it's just going to be like a fun new era of the channel, essentially. Just getting excited about things again. One thing that I really, really want to do with this, while I'm doing new one-off videos all the time, new games released daily, but I'm not going to be interested in all of them. So I'm going to take this opportunity to try to balance. Half of those videos are going to be new, exciting, silly-looking new games, and half of them are going to be games that I have redeemed over the years from indie developers that I said, sure, I'll make a video on that. Ooh, whoops, something came up, I have to go to a family dinner. Oh, whoops, sorry, this other game came out. Ooh, my scheduling got a little iffy, and then it just falls off the cliff. And there's so much guilt surrounding that, and I really would love to take the opportunity to still help in some way. It might be too little too late, but I do in some way feel I owe it to a lot of those devs. And so I think this would be a great opportunity to bring back those kind of the missed games from over the years. I don't know, I'm super over explaining it. That's just... I've also just been thinking about it for like weeks now, and I like need to get it out of my brain, and there's a lot of things. That's why it's overwhelming and exciting all at once. It's a lot of emotions. I trust that a lot of you will still be getting the same content you've always known and always enjoyed, and nothing is really changing that dramatically. Mostly this is just to help me in the back end, just help distinguish things more nicely, and hopefully work more to just simply grow the channel. Probably not much more I can add. Thank you for everything over the years. Thank you for keeping me going all this time. It's pretty crazy to have been doing it this long part-time. I had a funny conversation with someone the other day that no one has ever made a career out of YouTube. People make a living off of YouTube, but it's only been around, like 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. No one has done like a 30-year run at YouTube. It just hasn't existed long enough for that. It's just a weird thing to think on, and who knows what the future will hold, but for the time being, yeah, I think this is what I want to do. As some of you may have seen with Dead Estate, I'm working to branch that out. Two Left Thumbs, the idea was that is a brand, Maybe someday it can be a website like Polygon or GameSpot, I don't know. Right now it's a YouTube channel, and hopefully an indie game publisher. We'll see what comes next. And, that's something that is potentially becoming larger than myself, and in that way it becomes that much more logical for this channel to be Graeme. It's me. It's Graeme playing games. Graeme Games. I can't get more into it than that, because I don't know. It's a late night that I'm recording this. I'm gonna friggin' cry or something if I get too into any of that. And no, thank you. I'm no Markiplier. I mean that as a nice thing. I'm not ragging on the guy for having feelings. I think he makes great content. Oh boy, you're insane if you watched this whole thing, and I love you for it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again with more Graeme Games soon.